Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Transport Fever. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a good roundabout without using two lines. So what that means is that this train can safely go from end to end of each of the line without having two different lines. So we have two trains on this line, if you can find the other one. Yeah, so we have two trains. We have one train that is just left there, and the other train is somewhere, I don't exactly know where it is. Ah, here it is. This one's going around this roundabout. So the first thing we're going to want to do, let's just go over here to do this line. Let's just create a completely new line so I can give a good demonstration. So, we are going to start with a train station. Do not just disregard that I am using mods, because that will have no impact on this video. So first of all, don't use the end stops. Always use these stops because they just flip right around and then they're going to eventually crash into each other. And that's usually not a very good idea when you want them to go on both. So I'm just going to set this to a 2 track, and I'm just going to set it high speed. Yeah, whatever. None of that really matters except for the two-way thing. You always want 2 tracks. And then I'm going to set my stop way all the way over here. Let me just set that to 2 tracks and high speed. I always use high speed just because, you know, I'm using the no cost thing, so might as well. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to just, connect them normally, like so. Now, if you have switch tracks, I'm going to cover that in a second. If you do have switch tracks, what the game will want to do is they'll want to make the lines cross over. And I'll show you what that means. So if I have this here, and let me just create a depot real quick. Because you want a good connection between both of the lines, you might have a switch or something like that if you have, you would know what I mean if, you actually used switches. If you use switches, basically you can switch in between the lines with different trains. That's if you have different lines on the same thing. But I'll just show you the very simple thing, which is if you have switches, I will show you what to do in that situation when the game wants to use those switches when they shouldn't be used. So let me get a multiple unit train. Let's get this right here. Let's buy 2 of them. Why not? So we're going to set that aside for later. Now we're going to create our 2 loops. We're going to disregard the road completely because we are not doing anything with the road. Oh, but somehow it doesn't like that I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this road here. And there we go. So now we have the loop, but so the line will not use these loops unless you tell them to. And what I'm going to show to you in a second is how to use waypoints for the trains to use the loops. Now you think, oh, this might be, a waste of time. In reality, it's not. It's actually a very good strategy in creating, very seamless things. So you'll have this, these 2 loopholes here. When we go and create a line, I'm going to create a line between this stop and this stop. Now to make them just loop back around, we are going to add this stop again. Actually, no, I didn't mean to do that. So, how do we do this? We have, in-game, we have something called waypoints. But first I'm going to show you what the trains look like when they just go along the track by themselves. So we're going to have these 2 trains. I'm actually going to speed up time here so it goes all the other end pretty seamlessly. So the train, going along, and that's fine. By itself, it is perfectly fine going along this line. There should be no issues. It is not going to run into anything. Yeah, so see that switch right there? That is if you want to have exchanging the exchanging ways of you know, if you want to exchange these here, and let's say you have another track that's coming in here from another place, that's pretty good for switches. So now I'm just going to add this onto line 6. And as you can see, they will be using, so this one is now waiting in here, causing, you know, issues. And this will not go anywhere until this train moves. But this train won't move because it's just going to be going on that same track. So, now I'm going to send these both back to the depot real quick. Let me just send you back to the depot. Ah, hold on. Let me move this one back in. Come on, move back in. It's not letting me... Oh, there it is. Goodness me. Flip that around, and we're good. So, now we have to utilize these loops here so that we have connections. So, first of all, we are going to create a waypoint that is directly after the switch. So this makes the trains skip the switch. We're going to set that right there. And then we're going to create 2 more waypoints on each of loops. This makes the trains add those. So I'm just going to go into line 6, delete both of these lines. We're going to re-add some of these. So we're going to start with this stop, let's say. And then we're going to add to this. So this goes around this way. And then we're going to add here. We're going to set this on line 2. And then we're going to add here. So, alright, so in this case it actually did not use the waypoint here. We don't really need this. So in this case you would not really need to use a waypoint, but sometimes you have confusing tracks and the game likes to switch them. I don't know why it likes to do that, but it would. And I can't really create a scenario for that, except if I use that one over there. But that doesn't really matter. So, now we are going to have our trains back out on here with the waypoints and with the loops being used. Okay, so it's going. It's going. And we're just going to watch this train. Okay, so as you can see, it stops at the station normally. And what you will notice is that it won't stop here again because the game won't let you, and it doesn't matter anyways. It doesn't need to stop at the same place twice. And there you have it. If it uses that loop, and let's see it use the other loop. So now we're going to add this train to the same loop. And you will see that there is no way that they will collide. Ah, whatever. Oh yeah, these Japanese trains. I do recommend this pack because it's very good if you have local trains. Oh, hold on. Ah, okay. So here we come to an incident here. If we look at the lines, we see that this train over here is trying to go around this loop here. So basically, all we are going to do is send this train. I've actually never come across this problem before. Let's see if we can try to fix this together. So, we're going to click on the train and we're going to flip it around. That is a simple thing to do. We're going to use this train and we're going to flip it around this way. Oh, of course, in the auto-saving. We're just going to have to wait for that. Flip that around. Oh, hold on, I got to flip this one around again because... Alright, I don't understand why it's not doing that correctly. Let's check our waypoints. Alright, so now I'm going to show you another skill, which is called signaling. When we have signaling, this will pretty much eradicate all issues where they just wait at the end of the line like this. Also, another thing, you, of course, will not have lines that are this short. Sometimes, depending on what you're using, these things will be all the way over here. In which case, you would not need to use 2 tracks. You only need to use 1. And you only need to use 1 train in that case. But in cases of where you need long tracks, you basically need these loops here because you have 2 tracks and 2 trains. Or even, let's say you have 4 trains. This will work in the exact same manner. So let's place down a signal right here, and we're gonna place another one right here. So what this enables us to do, so you click on line 6. Oh, I think you do it like this. Yes, okay, so we have both of these signals, and they will essentially stop at these signals until the train moves. So there you have it. We have the trains are now perfectly flowing between these 2 stations. And we're just going to watch them go around. Now sometimes you will have waiting scenarios like so, and that's really not a huge deal, because as soon as that guy moves there, this train will continue, and so on. Now in longer loops, you will not have this stop and go problem. You will not have the same problem as this, but that's when you have longer paths. For example, if we go over to my existing path that we have over here, you will see that these trains have no issue in crossing. That's because we have multiple stops, therefore delaying the time that trains can keep going. Yeah, so we're just going to ignore that. So we have loops at each end here, but we have multiple stops in between, delaying the time in between trains, creating a free-flowing system.